There's a very specific message that wants to come through right now. All of the times that you have done the shadow work, all of the times that you have sat with yourself weeping and praying to God, all of the times you have sat in the bath water, surrendering to the all-knowing, the Most High. All of the times you spent in hermit mode, not following societal conditions, not following the norms of society, and thinking you're crazy and people around you judging you because you needed time for yourself. You needed time to be in hermit mode. You needed time in stopping your whole system. You needed time to process what has happened to you. You needed time for the DNA in your body to not be on overdrive, for them to pause, and in that split second of pausing, they were able to come through, the guides, the angels, the workers. They were able to come through in your split second of pausing and rewire and reprogram and restart your molecular structure. Awaken the dormant DNA of goddess consciousness within you. Realign yourself to your authentic being. Allowing your DNA to transition into the crystalline grid, into the crystalline structure. This pause, this rest that you did in the moment, you had no idea what you were doing. You stopped everything. You stopped it all. You may have stopped friendships, you may have stopped relationships, you may have stopped communication with different people, you may have stopped pursuing a career, you may have stopped pursuing any type of societal norms, and you went straight into hermit mode to heal. You don't even know what you were healing, but you knew there was something in you that needed to heal. You knew you weren't on your path that was the right path. Not only the right path, but the path that made sense. You were on the path that didn't make sense because it was implanted into your brain through fear, through control, that you needed to keep moving forward. And there was, your soul was speaking to you. Your soul was speaking to you that, my dear, wake up. You're following the patterns that were implanted by demonic forces to keep the population in fear, to keep humanity in fear. Wake up. And you didn't know why you were going into hermit mode, because this was your soul's calling to sit you down and say, my dear, you need to rest. You need to rest. You're on overdrive right now. You're operating on patterns that are not serving humanity. You're operating on patterns that are being led by nefarious entities that are not human. And you need to stop what you're doing and slow down. And in the pause, your consciousness is going to wake up to the fact, to the realness, to the truth behind what you're doing. In that pause, you're going to catch your breath and realize, instead of running in the fog, you're going to pause, and there will be a moment of clarity. And in that moment of clarity will never be taken away from you. That moment of clarity will come in through the crown by source. And you will never forget that feeling of bliss. That moment of clarity will remove the veil from your eyes. And from that point forward, it will be a difficult journey. Because the DNA that was infiltrated has to be healed. And the DNA that has been infiltrated where there is no going back has to be removed. There are parts of you that need healing that still sustain life, that can be worked with and built up through the help of the divine. But there are parts of you that have been infiltrated to the point of no return. They need to be let go. They need to be let go and let back into the void. And that is such a painful process, and it's a slow process. It's a slow burn, and it's a burn. It's a slow burn. But when you have removed those parts of you that need to be burned away, the parts of you that have been infiltrated and there's no going back, when you've removed them, and now what's left are the parts of you that just need a little bit of water and food and nourishment and soil to grow, that's when it begins. That's when it begins. Things start clicking. You start opening up pockets within your being for more light to flood in, for an accelerated path to come through. You're no longer in the process of healing, of death, of destruction. You're in the process of rebuilding. And the foundation is oh so strong. The foundation is so strong. It's only up from here. Ooh, getting itchy. Those moments of you weeping, crying in your room alone, not following what your friends are following, detaching yourself from all materialistic things, and going through the pain of this detachment, but knowing there's no other way for you. You need to detach. Those lonely nights, you know what you were doing? You were doing planetary grid work, starting with your body. But you were doing grid work that rippled across the fabric of reality. It rippled across the universal grid. And it strengthened the crystalline grid. It awakened the crystalline grid. And the crystalline grid doesn't need to be strengthened, but it awakened it. That's what you were doing in those moments of weeping, in those moments of shadow work, in those moments where everyone around you thought you were crazy. Why is she not doing this? They thought you were gone mentally, that you were lazy, that you didn't know what you were doing with your life anymore. Those moments, you were doing grid work and strengthening your vessel, your light body, because our light bodies right now need to be strong to fulfill the mission of this planet. The mission of this planet is going to be fulfilled through our light bodies. We need each other. We need each other. It's going to be fulfilled through our light bodies. We are the portals. We are the portals.